there is an additional wrinkle to this that is worth talking about, because this is something that Vogler talks about, and it's something that Cameron and I had talked about as well. The refusal of the call, and that, okay, what do you do with willing heroes? So he does actually discuss in his book the case of the willing hero and what happens in those cases. So he covers that in the writer's journey. Okay. And Brianna and I had talked about that as well, because when I was writing the story of my mythic Rabivanian hero, who is their mythical god and things like that, that we talked about, we actually had a discussion about, does he need to when the monster is threatening their warren, should he refuse the call? And I worked with that, and it just did not work, because he's this mythical hero, and that when danger comes, he doesn't refuse, he goes and accepts. So actually Cameron said, now wait a minute, he's not refusing the call, he needs to refuse the call here. But there is a more sophisticated. It seems like, well, I don't know if you want to call it more sophisticated. I guess I would call it
another option.
The most simple and direct way to go is for the hero to say, no way, I can't do that right now, and step back from it, and then be turned around and accept the call. So that's the most direct way to go about that. But there's a more sophisticated story that Vogler outlines when you have a willing hero, but that he says that the refusal of the call is embodied in another character. And he gives some different examples.
That's
where
transference.
Yeah. So he says that you actually, and if we're using the terminology that Maxwell Alexander Drake was using when he's talking about the physical level and the spiritual level, or the immaterial level of the story, it seemed like that Vogler was trying to say something like that even if on the physical level, danger comes and the hero is like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, I'm here. I'm the mythical hero. I'm Hercules or whatever. I'll defend my people. Has on the immaterial or the spiritual level, I guess we could say, the audience received that part of the refusal of the call through another character. And he gave several different instances of willing heroes in the movie where the danger was still expressed, but through a different character.
Thor is a good example. He's so over the top arrogant that it's almost like his dad pulls him out of the game and puts him on a bench by sending him to Earth. He's like, you shouldn't be so willing, you shouldn't be so arrogant. So that would be an example, at least in my head, of another character kind of stepping in and being like, a little modesty, a little self, reflection might suit you better. You could even have a mythical character. Did you ever see The Watchmen, the movie from 2009? Those characters refused to call out of like apathy to humanity. Like, well, what do you want from us? The world will ask us to save them, and we'll say no. That's a refusal, technically, of the call. They end up doing it anyway, but it's a different type of refusal. It's not vacillation. It's apathy. It's apathy. And in the case where,
it does seem like there could be other reasons why someone refuses. Yeah, that's interesting.
I was going to say that one of Vogler's examples is in Dances with Wolves. He says the Dances with Wolves. Kevin Costner's character is a willing hero. He does everything he's supposed to do, but that remember the wagon driver that goes out with him?
Yeah, Timmons.
Yeah. I don't remember his name, but the wagon driver that goes out with him embodies the refusal of the call, because that guy panics. Like, you're going to stay out here. You can't stay out here. We got to go. We're leaving home right now. The Indians are out here. They're going to kill, or all the danger.
There's danger. Yeah.
He embodied, like, I'm turning around right now. We got to get out of here. He embodied the refusal of the call, but then Kevin Costner's character pulled a gun on him and said, nope, get my stuff out of this wagon. I'm staying here. So in that example, so I would be interested. I've watched the Hunger Games. I have not read them. So I would be interested in looking at that as well. So we have situations where we are saying we have this heroine who is refusing the call. Have we perhaps embodied that refusal in another character?
Well,
here's still emotionally,
because in the Hunger Games, it seems like it's like embodied maybe in everyone. It just, I don't know. There's something about that feels like it's sometimes a stretch, but that's kind of the case always with these structures. Sometimes it's like that sort of fits.
Yeah, they're a little elastic. The hero's journey is like the perfect version of it, which no story really follows a perfect version of it. It's slight variations all across the board, and the same is true with the heroine's labyrinth. That's why you want to try to find the most basic core elements of the archetypal event. And then does that all apply? If it doesn't all apply, then don't force it. But But also with the Hunger Games, she had she had to make an immediate decision. She didn't have time to really vacillate or think it through or be like, hey, maybe I'll do it for my sister. Come back tomorrow. You know, like she had to make the call like right there. My thing with the reason I think the refusal of the call is at least important to seriously consider is because from the reader standpoint, us, the regular person, we're going to read this. We're going to remember that. And we might have a situation in our life that's very serious. An opportunity comes to us and we back off. The archetype reminds us that's normal to want to back off, but you have to re-engage. You have to go, you have to reverse that. You have to take that opportunity when it comes. So to me, it's an important reminder that even heroes second guess themselves because that will speak to someone in real life later. That's why I think it's important to seriously consider putting it in there. Because if the willing hero is so willing, and then I balk in real life, it's like, oh, I guess I'm not heroic. You know, I guess I'm just not that guy. But if Luke Skywalker and Neo are balking and then become great heroes, I might be like, well, they did that too and ended up to, you know, go on to great things. So I think it's there not on purpose. I think it's there on accident because that's what most people do in terms of a great undertaking coming to you at now, like this moment. What do you do? You know, so I think it's inherent. I think it's an instinctive thing writers have put in there on accident enough to notice it as a theme. And now we're like, should we put it in there or not? I think it should be seriously considered based on, I guess, a wider range of criteria, I guess we could say.
Cool.
I'm not sure if it's accident. Now, we don't need to get into that here, but I wonder when I'm studying the same things, is that accidental or is it because it's also deliberately humanizing them for the reason it's the reverse of what you just said. It's a humanization of them. It's more than you were. Oh, hey, Luke Skywalker did this too. If Luke Skywalker's doing this, that would be me. It's the humanization as well. So I wonder if it's accident or is that more deeply psychological. That's what we do. So that's what needs to be.
That's what humans do. Yeah.